Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
Seth from theshrinkingpasture.com.
And together, the three of us, we are Mark Woodben's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. Morning, boy.
Morning, Homer.
Morning. It's...
Morning somewhere.
It is morning somewhere. Good to see you guys again. So today we are smoking Ideal, which is a bulk blend from Schwab's Pipes and Stuff in Lexington, Kentucky. I picked this up on a recent trip to Kentucky, Lexington to be exact.
So, according to the FDA, does this fall under pipes or stuff?
This is actually a tobacco product.
Which makes it
A pipe.
Or
Pipes are tobacco. So.
Pipes are tobacco, so yeah.
I explained to them what I normally smoke. Surprise, surprise, Lane 1Q. I told them I was interested in trying something of theirs, but I didn't want 1Q. So, did you just take my tamper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did now, though.
So they recommended Ideal, said it's one of their top sellers. And I can tell you, it is different than 1Q. Maybe it's got some 1Q in its DNA, but it is a bit different.
It's got a distinct hint of grape. I'm noticing.
Yes, yours would. Last week I was smoking a little Devil Ants Cuddy, and this week I am smoking a kernel, and this happens to be a Rusticob kernel, which is no longer available. And I told Seth before we started, I said, I should stop smoking stuff that people can't have.
They can have that. They just have to Rusticob it themselves.
And that's true. Yeah, Rusticob this yourself. So I gotta say,
There's a video tutorial
yeah, that's true.
opportunity if I've ever heard of one.
So in a related story, and since I left you dangling all week about how Nicole took care of me, several weeks ago we showed the big glass cookie jar that we added 4.5 pounds of Lane 1Q to. Not enough, quite enough room to hold all the Lane 1Q. And I commented about how it needs a label. So I contacted Nicole through this Pipe Life forum and said who I was, reminded her that we spoke at Taps.
Right, because we had just recorded that a day or two before.
Yeah.
We went to Taps and mentioned
that we'd be talking about that.
We were their sole provider of sole customer for 1Q.
Yeah, I said what I've told you guys 1,000 times, that I have smoked my weight in 1Q, and that is not hyperbole. I'm convinced that is a truthful statement. And I asked her, I said, by any chance, is there any way we could get a label for the jar? And she, of course, made no promises, but said she would see what she could do. And then she sent me a message last week while we were traveling saying, hey, I didn't forget about you. It's in the mail. And sure enough, when we got back home, it was here. So what she was able to get was she got me 2 of the labels that are straight from the tinned 1Q.
Cool.
So we're gonna plant that on our glass jar, and that'll be dedicated to 1Q. So I'm really, really pleased by this. Thank you so much for doing that.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I hesitated to share this with you because I know that that's not a service that Lane Limited provides.
Right.
But I don't want it to go unthanked. So Nicole, thank you. Scandinavian Tobacco Group and Lane Limited, thank you for hooking a guy up. And we'll put that on the jar right away.
I was on Reddit recently. It reminds me of something I saw on there. Someone had posted about their experience with Dollar Shave Club and how they canceled their account and said that they made some comment about how I don't need razors anymore. I'm just gonna live like a hermit and grow a beard, whatever, in their cancellation order. And so the post was Dollar Shave Club's response. They sent them a Wilson volleyball with the handprint and Castaway, and a note that says, don't let it go too far. And so the person kind of skeptical of marketing like that, didn't post it. He said apparently he waited almost a year before actually posting it, just because he didn't want to see if there was some sort of string or if something else was going to come of that. But as a lot of people in the thread pointed out, marketing departments love that sort of thing because it's a very small investment, and there's opportunity that it could become viral like this picture now has. Win some goodwill across the board. So that's cool.
So that counteracts everything we've said about the Dollar Shave Club, I guess.
What? No. What have we said? We have not said anything negative about the Dollar Shave Club.
No, it's just that their top of the line option is well, at least was. I don't know if it still is. It's been a while since we've investigated the Dollar Shave Club, but their top of the line razor is a razor that's manufactured by Dorco, and you can buy directly from Dorco's website. I don't want to say, but it's a fraction of the cost of what?
It's about half.
Yeah.
But
half is a fraction.
Yeah, not if it's 0.5. To their credit, and this is something that I firmly believe is true of businesses, period, is if you can't compete on price, then compete on services. Mm-hmm. And we've discussed it before when we talked about the Yeti mug and some other products. It's often not in the best interest of the marketplace to compete on price. And so Dollar Shave Club is offering what they position themselves as offering is cheap razors that will show up at your door so that you don't need to worry about buying them, basically. Right. They show up and you don't ever have to use a dull razor again. That's a pretty good promise.
And you know what you're getting, and it's a reasonable price.
And I think because news became fairly widespread about the Dorco razors, they have also branched out into some other products. So they have their shave butter,
right,
which is people that I've talked to have used it rave about it, and that's something that is a little bit harder to source as a replacement.
It's interesting because what you're talking about there absolutely relates to our website, aristocob.com. We've debated several times. It's sort of an internal struggle for me that maybe we should sell for less. We should lower our price, try to beat everybody on the block, and if somebody comes in lower, we'll beat them too. But then there's two realities of that I have to contend with. One is my wife works very hard, packing, shipping, communicating with people. And for her to do that and for there to be no reward for her wouldn't be fair.
Sure.
Likewise, on the other side of this, I look at what we are able to do in the form of contests. The Cobb Foolery Contest, we gave away over $800 worth of pipes. We gave away a whole bunch of stuff back in the International Corncob Pipe Month in November. And we do stuff, we have some other swag that we're working on. We give away golf tees. We have very reasonable shipping rates. Everybody else seems to be goosing their shipping and trying to make that a profit center. I've had people that will contact me and they say, hey, this company's having a special on their pipes, will you match it? And I usually will say, can you please go and compare the total price including shipping?
Right.
And oftentimes we're still lower, sometimes we're not. But if that little difference, it makes all the difference in your life, then go buy your pipe from somebody else. I'm okay with that. We don't need to corner the market, but it does need to be something that's worth our while. And again, so that we can give back and have some fun in marketing and such. That's why we price things the way we do. Now, the other thing is, we sell for less than retail. We offer a discount if you buy 6 pipes. Another discount kicks in when you buy, 10, 12. So people that are stocking up, especially folks from out of the country that are trying to make it worth their while, those pipes get really cheap.
Yeah.
So not everybody needs a bunch of pipes, but yeah, it's a way of saving.
There's another thing. I'm trying to remember who it was. I heard a speaker once, a business leader, talk about how he and several of the it was a plumbing contractor, talked about how he created a mastermind group with several of the other large plumbing companies in his territory, his direct competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And he led this endeavor, and his rationale was that the pie is big enough for all of us to have a piece we're going to be happy with. And instead of trying to take pieces of the pie or little bits from each other, let's work together to grow the size of the pie and to learn best practices and to make things better for the customer.
Yeah.
And ultimately end up better, all of us.
I mean, you do have to be careful that you don't become guilty of collusion, right? I mean, I'm a part of a couple woodworking associations. The most interesting one for me is the Architectural Woodwork Institute. And every single year they do what they call the, what do they call that? It just slipped out of my head. Cost of doing business survey. And they give people a couple different projects that they basically quote. And then they're compared. And if you participate in it, you're a member of the association, you get a copy of this each year. And some of the things that are very clear is if you're running an architectural millwork firm in San Francisco, you're charging more than the guys in High Point, North Carolina.
Right.
But I'm sure it's eye-opening for people the first couple times they participate in that, because they'll see that, okay, this is a job that everybody priced above $20,000, and I quoted $9,000.
Right.
I'm not paying attention to a cost
Yes.
that's associated here that I should be. So there is some value, but boy, you've really got to be careful that you're not price fixing, and
Sure.
like you say, you're not, you're not eliminating competition.
Right. That's different.
That is critical to capitalism,
Right.
and to benefit the consumer. So,
But I think it goes a little bit hand in hand with the mentality that, in recognizing that it's okay as a business to acknowledge that not every customer is going to be your customer, right? And I think some businesses struggle because they want to capitalize on every opportunity. But what they do then is they run the risk of compromising on values, compromising on services, compromising for the sake of capturing that one customer who barely cares enough about your product to really go the extra mile, right?
Yeah.
The people that you want the customers who are raving fans, who are happy to do business with you, who are going to be understanding, and who are going to keep coming back time and time again.
You reminded me of another cost of our business is that I'm crazy strict about the quality.
Yeah.
And I pull stuff out that perfectly fine pipe, but I would have expected it to be in a seconds bin somewhere, and I won't sell that. Sometimes we'll build up a couple of those and we'll get a credit from Missouri Meerschaum. Sometimes we send them back. If it's like a dozen or two that it's a bad run, we'll ship them back to them. But more times,
100% of the corncob pipes you've ever seen me smoke on here
are seconds.
But
they
perfectly
weren't
fine to
we
smoke.
We didn't buy them as seconds.
Right.
But
right.
I'd have to say, if we had that, hey, lowest
they were
price,
Aristocob seconds.
lowest price guarantee, I would probably never look at another pipe again. They'd come in and Jandy would ship them, and you'd get what you get. Yeah. And anyway.
Quality assurance. Quality control.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. I really have. I don't want to change our business model. I don't. Because like I said, it's not fair to my wife if nothing else. So, that's interesting. So, how about you? What have you been up to? Do you communicate with people that are technically your competition? or with people that are providing services that are similar to yours. There's a lot to be learned if you do. And, you know, our competitors are not our enemies. They're our competitors.
Yeah.
And not that you have to be helping the competition, but there are times where it's helpful to have a good relationship with your competitor because to service your customer.
And because and because there are times that your competitor might be your ally. That's one thing I learned as early. My very first retail job, I was working at a bookstore, a Christian bookstore, and I got scolded one day when I told people to go to the store down the road. It was a block down the road.
You were like Santa Claus.
Our competing store, because we didn't have something they were looking for. Right? Well, we can order it for them, yes, but they don't want it ordered. They want it now, and there's a store right down there that might have it. And my philosophy was it's I'm helping the customer. I'm giving value to the customer, and when they need something, again, I think that they're more likely to come back to us if they know that it's something that we carry because of that good service.
I mean, it's like, fidget spinners now are all the rage. I'm about 4 months behind in saying that, but they're all the rage. Mm-hmm. If you want to buy one on Amazon and you want it with Prime and you want it shipped at your house in 2 days, you're going to pay $10 and up. That exact same spinner, exact same one, you could pick that up for less than $5 on Amazon. It's going to come to you from China or Hong Kong. Free shipping also.
Right.
And you'll get it sometime this summer.
Yeah.
Right? There's cost associated with the sellers sending a supply of those to Amazon, and Amazon charges them not only to process and ship that product, but for every one that sits there on the shelf for a month, they have to pay a fee to Amazon for that inventory sitting there. You ever wondered why a Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipe on Amazon is more expensive than retail? That's why, because it's costing that seller to have them sitting there available. I looked into that too because I thought that might be a great way to help people get products quicker, and with Prime it would seem more reasonable. We would have to sell it for more than the suggested retail price for it to make any sense, and that didn't make sense.
It makes sense if you have a popular enough product to justify that, but pipes is not that. Doesn't fit that need. It's funny you mentioned the fidget spinners. King of Random, Grant Thompson, did a funny video, and it was depressing too. It was really depressing. He started off this video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a couple weeks old at this point, but he started off his video by saying, months ago, I realized that these fidget spinner things were going to be a big deal. And so I started doing product evaluation. I evaluated dozens of different types of fidget spinners, trying to get some that I could get branded with King of Random's logo. And it took such a long time that now that I have finally found some that I like, they're everywhere. Right. And I have some that are branded that you probably aren't even interested. He's talking to the camera. He's like, you probably aren't even interested in because you probably have 5 of them already. But these are the best ones that I've found. And I was going to do some videos with them, and the most popular comment on a recent video, someone said that you should just destroy them. And so that's what he did. He melted them down. He melted down all of the ones
samples.
All of the samples down. And he said, look, I've got them. I probably won't have a lot of them because I know that everyone has them now. And it was sad because, here's this guy who recognizes an upcoming trend, is doing this market research to do this, and just has found himself behind the 8 ball.
Did you happen to notice, too, that some of the ones he melted appeared identical to the ones he's selling?
Yes.
But that's the thing about fidget spinners.
Yes.
Is huge range of quality and construction and material. So you could have one that's plastic, but it has a metallic finish on it.
Yes.
It looks just like one that's metal, but that one that's metal is aluminum, and the one next to it is titanium,
or
steel or zinc, cast zinc. And
some have ceramic bearings, some have steel bearings, some have garbage steel bearings.
Yeah.
Some have
used bearings. There are people who've received used bearings.
Or one of the tricks they say is you should soak the bearing. If you're if you're making your own, you should soak the bearings in gasoline
Right.
to
Get the grease off.
Get rid of the grease. Side-by-side comparison to that. The reason they have grease is because they're typically taking a load and having much higher use than in a toy. It's something that I'm a little bit interested in, and I will tell you why next week, because I think this is a good place to end.
Like cliffhangers.
Well, we figured out what Natalie did, and now that we have Nicole, sorry Nicole,
Yes.
and sorry Natalie, apologize. Now that we have some stickers for our 1Q tub.
We don't need either of you.
Yeah, we got what we came for. What'd you think of this not 1Q?
Yeah, it's better than the great Captain Black we smoked last week.
Yeah, I think it's a nice aromatic.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke mine down pretty quick, but
yeah,
I think it's a nice,
good,
simple aromatic.
So
Ideal from
Schwab's. Neat pipe shop.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got cigars there as well. They have lots of interesting knickknacks things. I bought a tie that I had planned on wearing to Chicago. Had I been able to make it to Chicago, didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I've got a smoking tie now that
Cool.
I'll wear sometime that we are visiting you somewhere.
Cool.
But, really neat shop. I like the guys working there. They were friendly and helpful and interesting, and I really enjoyed hanging out with the owner and one of the guys that was working there. And I love a shop where they don't want to just cash you out and get you out the door. You know, they want to know what are you up to? What do you smoke? And how could they be of service to you? Not just to get money out of your pocket, but they want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And really got that vibe there. So thank you to the guys from Schwab's.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right, wrap it up. Make it a great week. And I can't wait to hear what we talk about next week.
See you guys.